ToRaH Guardian, speaking the absolute truth. ToRaH Nation.
Shalom, 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 Yashar and Yahudah, grafted in Gentiles into the body of HaMashiach YAHUSHA. We praise Yahudah for the witness, the RUACH HaKodesh, the water and the blood. I praise Yahudah for understanding what this witness is. I praise Yahudah for understanding that everything that pertains to this witness has to be addressed in AMUNAH. You have to believe Yahuwah's word. You have to believe what Yahuwah says. You have to be convinced. Your convictions have to be ToRaH, right? Your convictions have to be ToRaH. Your conviction has nothing to do with what you feel emotionally, what you think you see and understand. Your conviction has to be ToRaH. It has to be ToRaH. ToRaH has to be the source of your conviction. You have to understand. You have to understand. You have to understand this witness, this in AMUNAH. You have to understand that this ToRaH is true. You have to be convinced and persuaded, not to stagger at the promises of Yahuwah through unbelief, but you have to be strong in AMUNAH. You have to be convinced of His word. You have to be fully persuaded that what He has said, He is going to perform. I praise Yahuwah for spending Passover with the Achis and the Yaakhov's and Feast of Unleavened Bread. We just praise Yahuwah for the Mishpachah. I arrived here in Columbia, South Carolina on Friday, and I'm leaving probably Wednesday night or Wednesday evening or early Thursday morning. But it's good. It's a good thing when brethren dwell together in unity. It's a good thing when you come together in ToRaH and you recognize that you are a people that are called by His name. And as a people that are called by His name, there is a life that Yahuwah has called us to. There is expectations that He has for us. And these expectations the conviction, right? You know, it's interesting when you are in a different city and town and place. You know, you're not familiar with the routes, and you even with the Google, sometimes these routes aren't as clear as they can be. But anywho, I'm gonna get to my destination in 18 minutes. It ain't like I'm in a hurry, you know. So it's about understanding that what Yahuwah's word says has to always be final authority. Right? It has to be. When all else fails, it's Yahuwah's word. And listen, before all else fails, it's Yahuwah's word. It's the Besorah, it's the ToRaH, it's that demonstration, right? It's that demonstration. The Most High is not interested in what you think and feel when it comes to His ToRaH. Point blank, period. Yahuwah is not remotely concerned about what you think and feel when it comes to His ToRaH, right? His ToRaH is meant to be kept. His word, the demonstration that He gave in Yahushua HaMashiach was meant to be followed. Right? It got nothing to do with what I think or feel. Right? And you have to know that there were some things that initially in this witness or as you go on, you may not be able to put your head or wrap your head around it. But that ain't got nothing to do with what the Word of Yahuwah says. Nothing to do with what the Word of Yahuwah says. The word of Yahuwah is sure. The ToRaH of Yahuwah, without question, is always right. Always right. What Yahuwah did in sending Yahusha, the Word made flesh, into the earth, everything that Yahusha did was right. Everything He commanded us to do and follow was right. It's right. Yahuwah expects us to follow the demonstration of Yahusha. Right? Because at the end of the day, if you can't follow Yahusha's demonstration, you definitely can't follow ToRaH. In the Besorah, in the ToRaH fulfilled. Right? If you can't follow that, right? And then in the end of the day, you can't follow ToRaH. You can't follow ToRaH. If you call into question everything that ToRaH lays out, or anything that ToRaH lays out as a demonstration of Yahushua HaMashiach, then you can't keep ToRaH. You're like, well, how you going to say it's like that? How are you going to say it's so cut and dry? Right? Because Yahuwah said His word is His word forever. He's established it in the heavens. And He has manifested it in the RUACH. He's given you the capacity in this witness, in this Besorah, in this Torah, right? As you yield yourself to the Ruach HaKodesh, and again, I'm convinced at times that people who don't want to comply are literally rebelling against what the Torah says. They're rebelling against the Ruach HaKodesh, the word of Yahudah, right? And you know, everybody, not everybody, I'm not going to make that all inclusive. People feel like they have a right to question and or scrutinize and or try to justify or unjustify is the word, what Yahuwah says, right? Because of what they think and how they rationalize, right? You have to understand the trick of Hasatan to lure you into a place of reasoning, right? Now Yahuwah said, come let us reason together, right? Come let us bring some clarity in terms of expectation in reference to his word. Clarity. By reasoning. Line upon line, precept upon precept. Right? Here a little, there a little, bringing it together to validate what he says. Not to unvalidate it. Right? Hasatan said to Hava, he said, listen, did Lord say you can't eat of the trees that's in the garden? Did he say that? Right? Hava said no, he didn't say that we couldn't eat of the trees that's in the garden. He said, the trees that are in the midst of the garden we should not eat, because in the day we eat them, we will surely die. And he said that. You won't surely die. He just knows that in the day that you eat of them, you'll be like him, knowing good and evil. Come reason with me, Hava. Look at this apple. Is its fruit less desirable than everything else in the garden? Is it less appealing? Is it bad to the touch? You know what? I guess it's not. Let me deny the word that was laid before me and choose another course of action, mine. Choose another course of action. My course of action. I don't necessarily agree with the written Torah. I don't necessarily agree with the spoken word that Yahuwah gave to us, Adam. So I'm going to go ahead and avail myself of this delectable looking fruit. I'm going to go ahead and touch it because he said we shouldn't touch it, but I'm going to touch it anyway because it looks so appealing. And I've reasoned within myself, right? And then this is all good. Right? I've reasoned this within myself. Now, it's not the Ruach HaKodesh that's leading you, right? Because you already have the Ruach HaKodesh. It's your conscious choice to entertain a lie, give strength to what you think, and heard it in the book, but it was my bad. I messed up. He should have never said that. That should have never came out of his mouth. No. It's you that have to understand that there are things in Torah that you may not understand, but they're going to have to be accepted in AMUNAH. It's going to have to be accepted in AMUNAH. You're going to have to do a thing sometimes that you may not even be remotely comfortable with doing, but at the end of the day, there is a Torah that governs the thing that you have to do, right? That you may not be familiar with or even comfortable with, but it don't change the fact it has to be done. Excuse me, doesn't change the fact that it has to be done. It doesn't change a thing. It doesn't change a thing. A Torah. YAHUSHA be in you. It's about keeping ToRaH. It's about being obedient. Not reasoning yourself around out of or anything that has to do with not obeying. It has everything to do with obeying ToRaH. And you know what? You will never be justified in the eyes of Yahuwah man seemeth to be right in his own eyes. See, because in your own eyes, you can always come up with an explanation as to why you feel that this is not necessary. Why you feel that you don't have to do this. Why you feel that even though the demonstration is in ToRaH, right? Demonstration is there for everybody to see in ToRaH. But for whatever reason, you feel like you need to. Understand how wicked and diabolical that is. Understand how rebellious that is. Rebellion is, Scripture says, rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft. Right? You know, that's why, and I'm going to tell you something on Shabbat. The Most High gave me, it's better to obey than to sacrifice. You know, we're to gather together in this book, and, you know, the Most High wakes me up in the middle of the night. And as I start praying, right? As I start praying, I'm praying. I'm praying, and I'm praying, and I'm praying. And the Most High says it's better to obey than to sacrifice. Tell my people it's better to obey than to forego sacrifice. It's better to obey and forego sacrifice. It's better. It's better that you just take ToRaH, obey ToRaH, and live ToRaH in order that you don't willfully, or because it's a willful, don't you willfully sin and then have to go before him to present a sacrifice. But here's the kicker. YAHUSHA HaMashiach is that high priest and that sacrifice. Hence the reason why Shaul said, should I crucify HaMashiach afresh? Should I continually offer him up on an altar of sacrifice because I don't want to do what Yahuwah said? He said, Yah forbid. Yah forbid. There are things that you are going to have to receive in AMUNAH, and Yahuwah don't care about what you think. He don't care. You got Bruce talking that, you know, this is crazy talk. Crazy talk. You know, about the Mashiach Yahushua. Crazy talk. Right? Crazy talk. And yet, they feel that they are going to be heard of you. You better hear the word of you. Woman of Yahuwah, right? A Koti, Achi, Ema, elder. You better hear the word of Yahuwah. You better hear the word of Yahuwah. Right? You better hear the word of Yahuwah. Yahuwah don't care diddly squat. He do not care any way, shape, or form about what you think and what you feel. And that is a contradiction to ToRaH. Yahuwah does not care. Does not care. Yeah, you better hear the word of you. You better hear the word of Yahuwah, man of Yahuwah, woman of Yahuwah. Me, I don't care. Right? a problem with that. Okay. And if y'all woman, y'all hear the word of you. It's better to obey than to sacrifice. It's better to obey than to sacrifice. Right. Yahudah has sacrificed once and for all. And HaMashiach Yahusha. Don't play Yahudah. Man of Yah, woman of Yah, just a word. Just a word. Right? Word of Yahudah, ToRaH. Hear ye the word of Yahudah, and obey. With that, I say, listen, shalom, 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 man, be blessed.
ToRaH Garden, speaking the absolute truth. ToRaH Nation.